In this video we are going to take a closer look at the Fortis Kill Team of the Deathwatch and how it plays in 10th edition now that we got our second release of the index. In the first part, we will go through all the relevant rules and datasheets available to this kill team. In the second part, we will then look at how to potentially use it in 10th edition. Lastly, there will be some modeling recommendations and a quick wrap-up of what has been covered. This is the third release of a 4-part series, with each part covering one of the different kill teams available to the Deathwatch.
Welcome to SwissHammer, your channel for modeling in Warhammer 40k. My name is Tammer, and I will be guiding you through this video.
The kill teams are the unique army rule of the Deathwatch, allowing us to combine a selection of different datasheets into a single unit. Contrary to 9th edition, where kill teams counted as the base troops of a Deathwatch army, they are not battle line in 10th edition, meaning that they fall under the rule of 3, aka we can pick up to 3 of the same kill team in an army list. While this part has not changed with the new release of our index, the Fortis Kill Team nonetheless underwent a significant amount of changes. Starting with unit composition, this one is quite huge, as Outriders have been removed, so no more driving through walls, but a decent selection of new Tacticus models have been added, namely the Infernus and Desolation Marines. As a result, the minimum amount of models is now 1 Intercessor Sergeant and 2 Intercessors, while the rest can be filled up with up to 4 Hellblasters, up to 4 Assault Intercessors, up to 4 Infernus Marines, or up to 2 Desolation Marines. Overall, this is in my opinion a big win for this kill team, now having access to some of the new models that were released after the initial introduction of this kill team in 9th edition, something that a lot of players have been asking for, myself included, and that just makes sense from the perspective of this being the Tacticus armor-focused kill team. As with some of the other kill teams, now that the unit size is always 10, I think allowing for less than 5 intercessors is also adding some much needed extra flexibility. On the other hand, losing access to Outriders and not getting the option to include Blade Guard veterans can be seen as a bit of wasted potential, but I guess it makes for some easier balancing overall. Furthermore, another great upgrade for this kill team is that its OC value went up to 2, the only named kill team to have it, which I think is a great way to give this kill team a bit of an extra over the others and make it closer in line with somewhat of a Primaris battleline kill team equivalent to the Deathwatch veterans, a change I certainly like to see. Moving on to abilities, here the Fortis Doctrines have received an upgrade, now giving add 1 to the hit roll when attacking a unit below starting strength, and add 1 to hit and wound roll when attacking a unit that is below half strength, which is certainly an upgrade over the completely underwhelming first iteration of this ability. However, I also think that some of the models in this kill team have quite good abilities on their original datasheets. For instance, Intercessors with their sticky objectives, or Hellblasters being able to fire again on death. As such, Fortis Doctrines doesn't stick out as much as perhaps some of the other doctrines do. Nonetheless, their rework is certainly appreciated. Then moving on to wargear and weapons, where we are seeing some of the biggest improvements in addition to the previously mentioned unit composition. First of all, GW has luckily crawled back on their nonsensical long witchill weapon stuff that was in the old index, and as a result, this kill team is getting some decent options back. Just like with the heavy intercessors, our intercessors in this kill team are now getting a Deathwatch version of the bolt rifle, such an excellent upgrade, and then as we are always running up to 10 models, 2 of them can get an Astartes grenade launcher, and the sergeant once again has access to a power fist or a thunder hammer. This also means that as we will always have to run at least 1 sergeant and 2 intercessors, these will all get free upgrades and good default guns. As such, they can no longer be considered as a tax to be paid, clearly a step in the right direction. Then last and certainly not least, one of the 2 Desolation Marines can swap his Superfrag rocket launcher for a Vanguard launcher, an upgrade usually reserved for a Desolation Sergeant, which means the Fortis Kill Team packs the power of 2 sergeants, so to say. Once more, this is really solid. On the flip side of things, for some reason the Pyre Blaster did not get the extra AP from the recent balanced data slate, but I guess this is a relatively small price to pay given all the other benefits. Then lastly, looking at leader options, there are plenty of those, as any character that can be attached to an intercessor squad can also be attached to this unit instead. This includes the Primaris Captain, Primaris Lieutenant, Primaris Chaplain, Primaris Librarian, Primaris Tech Marine for whatever reason, Primaris Company Champion, Primaris Apothecary, Primaris Ancient, the Judiciar, and finally our 2 unique datasheets, the Watchmaster and Watch Captain Artemis. That's quite the list. With the basic rules out of the way, how can we best make use of the Fortis Kill Team in 10th edition? Well, this is an interesting one. The good news here is that GW really went a long way to bring this kill team back from the grave, through a combination of improved unit composition, improved guns, improved doctrines and an increased OC value. A while ago, I did a video on points and unit compositions for each kill team. If you have not checked it out yet, the link is in the description. In a nutshell, including the 2 Desolation Marines hugely swings points in favor of this kill team, on top of all the other mentioned benefits. This is of course no small thanks to GW having gone overly hard on Desolation Marines, but who are we to complain, especially if we get to include the Vanguard launcher. The moment we do step away from Desolation Marines, however, we start paying a small tax, let's say for instance with Hellblasters and Infernus Marines, and I would further argue that these datasheets are better played as their original, where they come with quite powerful abilities. As such, I think playing this kill team with 4 intercessors, 2 of which have the Astartes grenade launcher and 1 of which is the Sarge, and then adding 2 Desolation Marines, 1 with the Vanguard and 4 Hellblasters is the way to go, making this kill team a quite solid package overall at a highly competitive price. If this had the ability to combat squad, I would personally consider 1 as an auto-include in pretty much any list. However, I think as it currently stands with the 10-man blob only, its biggest disadvantage would be that both the Indomitor as well as the Talonstrike kill teams are just very solid picks. As such, I think whenever we are building a competitive list, one has to ask the question, when would I take this over one of the other named kill teams, Deathwatch Veterans or Deathwatch Terminators, which I believe are all picks with more overall synergy, while the Fortis Kill Team remains a bit of a jack of all trades kind of unit, with potentially a few different profiles, that doesn't get anything done as good as some of the alternatives, and while decently priced by itself, I would consider it too expensive to just leave it sitting at the home objective. Hence my previous comment that combat squads on a unit like this would just go a long way. However, having said that, outside of a tournament setting, I would currently not discourage anyone from running this, and with that I don't necessarily mean just Garage Hammer, but anything semi-competitive works just fine, which is a huge improvement over how this kill team used to be in the old index. Anyway, one possible strategy here would be to keep this in the back for a bit, making use of its indirect weapons, having that Vanguard is just really solid, and fully committing only in mid to late rounds when potential targets have already been softened up a bit. While it is a bit of an expensive objective sitter, it still qualifies as such in my opinion. All in all, I am quite pleased with the direction GW has been going here, and perhaps over the course of the edition, some indirect changes affecting this kill team in one way or the other will even bring it fully up there with the rest. Then last but not least, let's have a look at some modeling recommendations. Ironically enough, I think this is the moment where we will definitely want to magnetize the Intercessors. Now, as veteran viewers of my channel well know, I have been suggesting this all the way through 9th edition already, as it allows to freely swap between Intercessor and Assault Intercessor loadouts, resulting in Intercessors with far more dynamic poses. This is also true for Infernus Marines. Furthermore, a magnetized intercessor body can simply be used for a variety of purposes, including proxying them as Deathwatch veterans, for those not trusting in GW keeping firstborns around forever. That aside, I think what's pretty convenient for both Intercessors and Hellblasters is that now there is only one type of gun rules-wise, meaning that we can build those guns with whatever magazines we want to. While I don't think that anyone really cared about this beforehand anyway, I would argue most non-Space Marine players cannot tell them apart anyway, this at least settles the debate for good. Then for the Desolation Marines, I went with mine as far as magnetizing the Vanguard Supercrack and Superfrag parts. It's perfectly doable for those willing to make the effort, but get ready for a severe headache while doing so. At least for the time being, sticking to 2 of them will be quite enough. To wrap things up, over the course of the video, we have looked at the much improved Fortis Kill Team of the Deathwatch in 10th edition. While this has certainly been the most underwhelming kill team in the first iteration of our index, GW went a long way by improving unit composition, guns, doctrines and increasing its OC value. As a result, this kill team can now newly include Desolation and Infernus Marines next to the already existing models, but lost Outriders in turn. Just like with the heavy Intercessors, the Intercessors in this kill team now get improved Deathwatch bolt rifles, which actually pack a punch, meaning that these are now finally worth taking. As it currently stands, for Intercessors, 2 Desolation Marines, as well as 4 Hellblasters is the way to go, checking out both points as well as rules-wise. Of special note here is that while running this kind of combo, we can bring a Power Fist or a Thunder Hammer on the Sarge again, 2 of the Intercessors can bring an Astartes Grenade Launcher, and 1 of the Desolation Marines even gets the Vanguard Launcher, an upgrade usually limited to the Desolation Sergeant, but who are we to complain? While all of these are really solid improvements for his kill team, I think its biggest issue at this point is that it just has a lot of competition from among the Deathwatch ranks, including both the Indomitor and the Talon Strike kill teams, as well as Deathwatch veterans and Deathwatch Terminators. It's not that the Fortis Kill Team is particularly bad now, it's just that we have a lot of really good stuff to use instead. A luxury position to be in for sure. Nonetheless, I would not discourage anyone from running this outside of the most competitive settings. As far as modeling is concerned, magnets go a long way on an intercessor body, basically allowing for free swapping between several Tacticus datasheets, or even having them as proxies for Deathwatch veterans, for those hesitant to invest into firstborn kits at this point. All in all, I really like what GW has done here, all things considered. So that's it for the guide to the Fortis Kill Team of the Deathwatch in 10th edition. What do you guys think about this particular kill team, and are you planning to include it into your current lists? Did GW do a good job rebalancing this kill team when compared to the old index? Any important rules or tactics that I missed? Let me know in the comments. Then finally, if you made it this far and I still have your attention, if you like my content, any additional support is greatly appreciated as it helps me invest into future videos. For that, I have both a Ko-fi as well as a Patreon page, links are in the description. Furthermore, I would also like to mention that there is a SwissHammer Facebook page where I will be posting links to my videos as well as articles I find of interest. I do read a lot about the hobby, but not all of it will always end up as its own video. I look forward to seeing you there as well. As always, thank you very much for watching, guys. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. I hope you have been enjoying this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks again and see you next time.